right, I'm gonna share my screen with you. Bam, oh, boom, bam. All right, so here we are. Again, anybody who has not yet enrolled in the class, this is the class code. So write it down, and I will give you a chance to enroll in the class if you haven't before we start the cool down. All right, so today, this is how we're going to go. It's still a little bit of groundwork, so I still called it that. And again, this is to assess your
Wait,
prior knowledge.
excuse me.
What you
Sorry.
say, darling?
How do I get to what y'all doing right now?
All right, so wait, can you see my screen right now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so stay here just for a minute because we're going to do the community meeting from here. I'm not going to do the box plots. I'm just going to do the review, and then you and I can rate. Okay, because that's Desiree, correct?
No, this is Kanaya.
Oh, Kanaya. Oh, okay. Yeah. Just watch this, boo. And then we gonna talk about the cool down. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So here's our community meeting question. If you were given $1,000 to donate to any charity, what would it be and why? And you cannot have the charity of self. So I know, and teacher can start. I would donate my $1,000 to the Sickle Cell Anemia Foundation because my cousins, I have a lot of my family members have sickle cell, and two of my cousins have passed away from that. So it is dear to my heart. Anybody else? You got $1,000 to donate to any charity. What would it be and why? Let me see somebody chatting me.
I do that to the breast cancer, John.
Oh, okay. Cool. Why would you donate to breast cancer?
Because my grandma passed from it.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Good money. Anybody else? Let me look. Now, if they let me split my money, I would do 500 to sickle cell, but then I would do the other 5 to women against abuse. You know, because I have a hard time with partners beating up on partners, because it's not just always a man on a woman. Sometimes it's a woman beating up a man. Sometimes it's a man beating up a man and a woman beating up a man. So I would just to some organization that fights against abuse. If I had to choose, of course, it would be Women Against Abuse because I'm a woman. All right, let me see if somebody chatting me. If you were given $1,000 to donate to any charity, what would it be? We don't have, autism awareness. Yes, I like it. Oh, St. Jude's. Yes.
I went to the Ronald McDonald thing.
Oh, the Ronald McDonald House? Cool. Okay. Fight homelessness. Yes. Okay. Anybody else? I know we got some other gentlemen. Gentlemen, what you got? Would you donate? Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Helping people recover from strokes. That's good. Yeah, because depending, you could be paralyzed, or you could, like, anything could be paralyzed when you have a stroke. Like your vocal cords could be paralyzed and you can't talk anymore coming out the stroke. So that's a good one. I never thought about that. Okay, babe. That's a good one.
No, Mrs. I gave half the breast cancer and didn't have to homeless. You know,
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's good money.
Especially on days like today when it's raining outside and I feel very grateful to have like a roof over my head. I think that's when I really feel it the most too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. To AIDS. Yes, that's a good one too. Because since people aren't dying of AIDS anymore, I kind of think sometimes that fight has kind of been pushed to the side. So that's a good one. Thank you. Yep. Let me see. Nope. It could be a charity is anybody who needs help. So you could say you have a neighbor down the street who just struggling. You giving your money to them, that is a charity. So it could be anything. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay, that's a cool one. All right, a children's home that helps kids get adopted. That's cool. Yep. Okay, cancer. All right, yes, my benevolent loves. Absolutely. Okay. All right, y'all know I always have a reason for the question. So I am asking this question right now because people seem to be more benevolent, more giving during the holiday season, because, some of us, we have good fortune. Like Miss Kelsey said, we are all inside of some structure doing this class. But there is somebody who is homeless. There is a child who is waiting to be adopted. You know what I mean? We have found over this quarantine piece that unfortunately, some people's situations have gotten much worse, before better. And everybody could use a helping hand. And I think that the good you do comes back to you. Even if it's that person who is standing outside the store and opens the door for you and says, do you have any change? You might only have 50 cents and give them that 50 cents, but that's 50 cents more than they had.
No, to me, I think it's backfiring me. Like every time I do a good deed, like something happened to me, like later that weekend. Not nothing good though. Like my foot will start hurting bad out of nowhere, something like that. And I just thinking, that's for me doing a good deed. I'm about to stop
Like
doing
the
it.
opposite of karma.
That's what I be thinking of like, every time. Where we're at.
Oh, it would be you. Well, but no, Zai, that just means you clumsy. That's all that means.
No, that's not
Because your good deed may have paid off in another way. Maybe that morning you were late and the driver let you on the bus for free. Or if you were driving to work and you were running late and it just so happened all of the lights from where you were to your job were green. You know what I mean? You can look for the small returns.
Yeah. Can I say something about that?
Absolutely.
I really hate the concept of like karma because it seems magical, but I do like what we're saying about like when you do good deeds, they come back to you in a different way. And what I mean is, okay, we'll take Zaire for example, because he's talking and he's brave and he had great attendance while we were in the building, right? Like he's always there. He's one of our most consistent students. He's awesome. And so when he misses a day, we don't like call home and be like, where is Zaire? Because we know that probably because he's been so good, that he probably has a legitimate excuse, right? So like all of his good work that he's put in comes out later when he needs it because we know that we trust him because we see that, he's been doing a good job. And so I feel like I don't like karma because it feels like magical. And when we see bad things happen to good people or good things happen to like bad people, I don't like believe that people are bad, but people have done some bad things. That doesn't make sense to us. But when you like do good things and you're responsible and you try to communicate and you're consistent, like you get the benefit of the doubt when you need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that could be the payoff, you know, and sometimes, yes, your monetary good deeds will be returned monetarily, but sometimes it could just be the thank you, like sincere, you know, like my niece just told me that there is a family living on Cheltenham Avenue in their SUV. Breaks my heart. So I said to my niece, we'll find out how many people there are. Are there any children? Because we see this truck there every day. And my daughter and I jokingly said, somebody's probably living in there. Lo and behold, somebody is living in there. So, you know, so again, like on a day like today, those people are stuck in their car somewhere. Like maybe they found some place that's like a indoor free parking lot. Maybe they didn't, but they're inside that truck. And like I said, us as a community, now that we see it, people are giving them things because it's like, yo, that could be me one day. That could be me. That could be one of mine. And that's how I look at it. Because I have children, I have grandchildren, and I never know when one of mine may need help and I'm not there. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's kind of like a pay it forward for me. And if it works, it works. But I'm glad that you all have a giving spirit. Mm-hmm. That is a good thing. That speaks to your character as people. You know, that speaks to your character as people. So I appreciate you all. And when you get a chance to donate, please do, even if it's your time. Yeah. Even if it's your time. And I know we're not doing that now because of COVID, and you really have to be careful. But there will come a time, because there was a time I was on welfare. I don't dog nobody who was on welfare, because you doing what you got to do to get where you got to get. Mm-hmm. I keep my access card because that keep me real. You know what I mean? So if I ever like get in a moment where I'm feeling high and mighty, oh, but a minute ago, babe, check yourself before you wreck yourself. You know? Real quick. So thank you, my charitable souls. I love you all. All right, so now for the next 6 minutes, we are going to talk about what the cool down was about, and then we're going to work on the cool down. Okay? So here we go. Our cool down talked about statistical questions versus non-statistical questions. So now, when we talk about statistical questions, again, those are questions that can be answered with data that varies. So for instance, questions like, how long does it take to get to school? Everybody has their own answer because everybody lives in different places. Okay, so the question can be answered with data that varies. Depending on where you live will determine your answer. The same thing with questions like, what is a favorite snack food for teens? Well, it depends on who I ask, what your answer will be. Or what is your favorite color? So all of those are statistical questions, meaning if I ask a room full of people, any of those questions, everybody will give me a different answer. Now, some of you may give the same answer because you live in the same neighborhood for, let's say, that first question. But for the most part, everybody will give their own answer. So now, when we talk about those answers are either categorical, so they're non-numerical. They are not numbers. So that would be favorite color, favorite food, section of the city you live in. Or the answer could be numerical. That means every value is a number. What time did you wake up? How much do you weigh? How many family members do you have? Those questions are statistical, because depending on who I ask will depend on your answer, but they will all be numbers. Okay? The same thing with categorical. I can ask all of you, what's your favorite color? Everybody gonna give me something different. Now, of course, some of you will repeat, but it could be I have 18 people, I could get 18 different answers. Okay, so that's what makes it statistical. The answers will vary. Make sense? Okay. And of course, then there are non-statistical questions. And that means every answer should be the same. It is constant. Okay, so where do you go to school? All of you are going to say yes, Philly. It doesn't matter how many people I ask in this class.
Not me.
Here.
It is always one.
He's got to chime in, doesn't he?
Always, always. Well, whatever you say, we will know if you're telling the truth. But again, so if it's non-statistical, so what is your math teacher's name? Right now, all of you are going to say Miss Hickson. The answer is the same. It is
I'm gonna say Lisa.
Ill-mannered people say Lisa. But you're right. Well, I don't care what you say. You can say Lisa. You can say Miss Hickson. Y'all call me Lise. Ultimately, you talk about me. So the answer is the same. And then a question like, what was today's high temperature in Philadelphia, PA? Okay? That should be one answer because we are speaking of only today. We are speaking only the high temperature and only Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I couldn't even put Philadelphia because you can live in Philadelphia, Mississippi. Okay? So, a non-statistical question, again, regardless of how many people you ask, forgive me for that. Regardless of how many people you ask, the answer will always, 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 always be the same. Okay? So that's statistical. I ask a room full of people, I get various answers. Non-statistical. I ask a room full of people, I get the same answer. Make sense to us? Anybody not understand? Anybody need another example? Okay, now, everybody log on to Summit. Des, I'm gonna have to probably, now I'm gonna show y'all how this is done. All right, so I go back to algebra, click here. This tells me that everybody doesn't have the assignment. Hello, darlings. How are you? All right, so everybody should now have the first cool down. And the first cool down is called categorizing questions. I am going to look at someone who is not in this class. See, is that here? Oh, all of you are in here. So I have to look. I'm gonna look for somebody who's not in the room yet. But does everybody have it opened? All right.
Yes, I have it open.
Okay. Everybody have it open. You should be able to go into Summit. Look at your year view. In Algebra 1, you should see one variable statistics. When you click that, you should see the first topic should say organizing questions. All right, is everybody there? Are we ready for the discussion? Ms. Kels, I'm gonna share my screen so that you can see too.
Thank you.
Yes.
You know I like to be a part of things.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so everybody should be on your own Summit. Don't worry about sharing the screen with me. I'm sharing my screen so Miss Kelsey can see. Okay, but you all can actually go to the lesson. All right, so our directions. Categorize each of these questions as one of these types. Then explain your reasoning for putting the question in that category. Now, your reasoning is your reasoning and you will put it in your words. So you will categorize it. Is it a statistical question requiring numerical answers to numerical data to answer it? So again, that's that thing like, how long does it take you to get to school? Okay, it's statistical because everybody's gonna have their own answer, and it's numerical because we talking time. Is it a statistical question requiring categorical data to answer it? Questions like, what's your favorite color? Okay, everybody gonna have their own, and the answer comes out in a category. Or is it non-statistical? Regardless of how many times you ask the question, regardless of who you ask the question, the answer is going to always be the same. So those are our three choices. So now, let's look at the first one. On average, how many books does each person in the United States read each year? So one, is it going to be statistical or non-statistical? Is everybody going to have their own answer, or is it going to be one answer? And then, all right, everybody has their own, so you know it's a statistical question. Now, is the answer going to be numerical or categorical?
Categorical, I think.
What's the question? How many?
Oh.
Okay, so you see, it is statistical because like you said, everybody gonna have their own answer. And then how many speaks to a number, so it has to be a statistical question with numerical data. Make sense? Again, it is statistical because everybody gonna have their own answer. Because the answer comes out as a number, it is statistical question with numerical data. Make sense, good peeps?
No.
No? Okay. So, in that first one, it says, how many books does each person in the United States read, right? So now let's just take our room, our classroom right here. This year, I have only read 2 books that were not school related. So my answer is 2. Miss Kelsey, she a reader. So Miss Kelsey's read 10. Salima is a reader, but she been off her game. So Salima read 6. Well, we know she a new mom. She ain't read none. Okay, so we are asking the question, right? But we getting different answers. So that makes it statistical. Our answers are coming out as numbers. So it has to be a statistical question. Everybody get their own answer. The answers will vary. However, the answers coming out are numbers. So it is a statistical question with numerical data. All right, let's move to the second one. Let's see how it changes, and maybe it'll help clarify the first one. The second one says, how many acts are there in the play Romeo and Juliet? Now, if I ask our entire class, is the answer going to vary or is the answer consistent? It is what it is. So, if the answer is what it is, regardless of whether you go see Romeo and Juliet in Philly, in Camden, in Wilmington, in Virginia Beach, in Myrtle Beach. Will it change or will it stay consistent? If it will change, then you know it's a statistical question. If the answer is, then it's non-statistical. It's gonna be the same, regardless of who you ask, where you see it, how you see it. It is the same. All right. Look at number 3. Which book was read most by students in the class this summer? So it says which book. So, statistical or non-statistical? Will we get a variety of answers or will we only get one?
A variety.
The book that was read the most, that would give you a variety?
Oh.
Yup. See, we also, let's look at the language. Yes. It says which book was read the most. So again, will the answer vary or will it stay the same? Consistent. Okay? So again, if it is consistent, it will be a non-statistical question. If it will change depending on who you talk to, then it's statistical. All right, last one. How many books are in the classroom right now? Look at the terminology right now. Statistical or non-statistical? Will it vary or will it stay the same? And remember, it says to justify your answers. So how do you know? Okay, so once you have your answers in there, then go back and justify. How do you know? How do you know that that is the case?
Be a classroom. It can't just be our room. Or
Well, you know, again, we speak in the general terms. This was not this lesson was designed before the pandemic, so they are assuming that we are in a classroom. Okay, so let's just stay with that assumption. All right, so we're doing pretty good. It's 11:10. So now, all of you who are here, you will at least get a yellow because you are here and you are going to turn this in today. And remember, once you finish, you are going to upper green corner, you're going to send it to me. Again, progress report grades go in today. So this is the one assignment along with your attendance that will determine your progress report grade. And again, I cannot emphasize enough, this second term goes really quickly. So it would be in the best interest of all of us that you keep up with the assignments.
Excuse me.
Yes, darling.
So these questions, I wasn't even listening. Do I supposed to just answer them?
You are supposed to classify them. So you see those 3 things with the dots: statistical question requiring numerical data.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you are going to use one of those 3 to classify the 4 sentences. 4 questions, excuse me. So again, if the question is one that will have a variety of answers, It will be statistical. Then you decide whether the answers to that question will be numerical or categorical. And numerical, again, time, counting, distance, things like that. Categorical. Go ahead, baby.
So we're gonna say statistical question. Like basically, we put what we think it is. Like
Yes. I see you got a little tongue tied, but yes. So again, in that first question, if this was the question being posed, is everybody going to have the same answer, or will they have different answers?
A different answer.
Okay, so that makes it statistical. Now, is the answer a statistical question? So is the answer going to come out as a number, or is it going to come out as a category, like a color or a smell or something like that?
A number.
Exactly. So for number one, you would write statistical question, numerical data, and then move on to the next one. Okay? Make sense?
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Absolutely. So again, as you finish these, ladies and gentlemen, in the upper right-hand corner, it is a button for you to request feedback. Okay? I need that because I have to do your grades when your first progress report grade when we hang up from this class. Okay? And again, I know it was the holiday and some of you didn't get to it. Some people having computer problems, but that's why we're doing it today. We're going to review it. And again, any explanations, just put in your own words. How do you know? How do you know that that's the case? Okay. All right. So, I am going to stop my share. Okay. Oh. I'm so sorry to hear that, my love. Okay, wait. Oh. Salima, I'm just seeing that. No, that's cool. That's cool, sis. That's cool. Y'all are funny. I love y'all as a class. Wow. All right. We doing pretty good, ladies and gents.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I can well, I'm about to send you a text.
Okay, cool. All right, so ladies and gents, we only have 2 more minutes in the class. So